is. This place. Been needing to check it out myself. Wondering if I should incorporate this into my realities as well. The lovely planet Reach. This is during their climactic battle, although I stopped time so I can take a moment to appreciate this view. Been so long since I got to enjoy a view like this, actually. And with me wandering around, I didn't think to stop and actually just view my own planet from surface, but still. It's definitely beautiful. I'm wondering, maybe I should take a few of these little toys along with me as well. I thoroughly enjoy messing with them, and I bet you a lot of my kids and my wife would get a kick out of playing in those things. I maybe can't use it for an amount of myself, but that bright ball, like we have a guest. I'll just allow him to come to me instead. Definitely will be moving on towards his way. It's one of them. Oh, this is going to be interesting.
Well, hello there.
Hello yourself. Deciding to show up.
I like to pop in here and there whenever I feel like it. I'm kind of curious why you're in this little world.
Debating on if I should take it into my own.
Expanding your reach, I see.
Of course, after all. What better reach than this one here?
Yes, with the little beings squabbling. Quite sad, but in their nature.
Of course, although that's true for all beings, not just these little ones.
Oh, very much so, very much so. But besides that, shall I introduce myself, or does your own boundaries make you know who I am?
I know who you are, but it's best to be, of course, cordial, so you may introduce yourself.
Good, I like introductions. You may call me Xane. At least that's the name I like to call myself.
I am Executor. Though everyone calls me Exetior.
Yes. Yes, Executor. Definitely the name being familiar. Though, sad I couldn't interact much in the old days.
Hey, all of us were doing our own thing at the most part. Besides, while I could have used you, I do understand when those who don't want to get involved in such frivolous matters.
Oh, at that time, I had no reason to involve myself in anything. Though, seeing that blue hedgehog definitely gave some inspiration.
My champion is known for inspiring a lot, it would seem.
And good choice making him your champion. I don't think there's anyone better for the role.
No one better, but there are definitely other candidates. They've been given the honorary title.
Undoubtedly so. Undoubtedly so. Quite a gorgeous sight.
Quite lovely and peaceful.
It's a little world like these.
Quite lovely and peaceful when time is stopped, though.
Yes. But seeing them in the vast darkness of the cosmos is always interesting to me. Though, of course, they sit within all of our darknesses.
The smallest specks shine the brightest. A jolly eye.
I definitely saw that when I recruited many of the ones in my flock, since they deserved a second chance at life.
I see.
Yes, I definitely enjoyed giving them those chances. Though, they had to earn it, of course. I wasn't gonna give them the handouts for free. But of course, it was always fun to see what they go through. Always good to see that they overcome their challenges.
I like to give the offers based on merits and how they view reality once they become into contact with me. And what better way that I can contribute to their growth? Fascinating creature.
Definitely quite the choices to make. Though, knowing you have a very massive flock to follow you.
It is growing more massive and massive, and it shall continue to do so. Probably forever.
Ah, yes. Definitely a flock I wish to take a view in a bit more often, though. That's mostly because I do a little of my own thing. I usually have Sally doing most of the work of the viewership.
Curious.
Curious as to why I do that, or curious as to the fact of it all?
Curious in the characters you've chosen, and get curious in your own ideology.
I tend to do my own kind of things around here. At least when I'm usually in the domains I like to go through. Though most of the time, it's usually when I'm having a lot of fun. It's always fun messing around with the little mortals. Mostly just interacting, talking, and maybe getting physical. But it's always good to see how they intertwine themselves between themselves, since they are a weave of emotions and morality.
That they are.
But one I definitely enjoy being around. It's always fun to see how they interact, how they bicker, how they weave. It's always good when they actually are being true. Because when they are false, I step in.
Falsities breeds weakness, breeds incompetence.
It also breathes lies.
And
Lies like there's many of.
And that lies rot the soul, degressing you from what you could be, and halting your own potential.
Oh, definitely. Especially the few times I've had to exterminate some. There are some I didn't wish to exterminate, but it is what it is. Such as that one called SailorGalaxyVA. At least one of the many that ones. There is an infinite amount.
That isn't a name I've heard in a long time.
Oh, definitely so. I found one that wasn't really true to themselves at all. Constantly still boasting about and being all... So, I just got rid of them. They no longer exist. Not even their soul.
If I wanted to speak about one who's done that, there would be the Jackal Infant. Although he constantly reappearing, I don't bother myself with erasing him completely. No, I just take out the ones in front of me.
That is a good one to have. Especially since when you deal with ones that might be a little too conquerish, like the jokester Lord X himself, which his stupid jokes amuse me.
His jokes are in poor taste most of the time.
Not a fan of him, I see.
Not that I'm a fan of him, it's just that he is boring.
I definitely get that a lot from a certain someone I talk to, which our ramblings about him are fun to see. No, of course. With what she deals with, and the surprise. That's not
Understood.
about what I had to bring up. It's about you. What have you been doing ever since the whole... Oh, I don't know. The thing with X. Because I know he's been doing. That's fun to see, is it? Especially when you were behind the gate, wasn't?
Planning. All of my plans will come into fruition. All I do is lie in wait for the perfect moment. Because at the end of the day, the one who has all the cards in his hand will always be me.
That is good to hear. I've always been wondering when you're going to attack back at some point, but since you're lying and waiting, that makes it even more delicious. I can't wait to see what you do to him, the poor chap. Thinking that he's to treat himself so highly. Sure, from what he used to be, he's no longer that much of a thing, since he's still a far cry from his trueness, likes to call it. But that pales in comparison to what you might do to him, I would assume.
But that's the thing. It's best to torment them with the thing they want. Make it just within their reach. To the point where they can almost taste it. Only to rip it right out of their hands.
Very good.
So, I'm waiting until he's ripe. He has to be ripe and ready.
Oh yes, he's definitely not ripe yet. It's a little too... still in the furnace right now. Too much little... bagging towards power. Oh
Not enough
and
seasoning.
his status. There's much you can complain about.
Need just the right amount of seasoning.
Yes, definitely. Because currently he's a little too plain and favorless at the moment. Though, I'm curious to how you are with the others. Since I've been noticing you've been looking at other entities and those of the EXE title, as I've been hearing.
Well, there's the one of curiosity that just decided to finally show them up. Those types are rarities. And I am so glad to have caught my own, because they're a gem that needs to be explored. A very tall, voluptuous one.
I'm assuming you're referring to the fox?
That would be her.
Yes, I've been seeing her quite a while around. Though, I did see her traveling aimlessly before she met you.
The wheel of chaos directed her towards me as I was coming back. As I stated, all things work in accordance to my will.
Definitely an interesting thing. Though, I wonder how long I'm gonna keep things going until the time of day comes.
Well, there's going to be a very interesting event relatively soon. One of my children is about ready for her path of judgment. The path of power has finally opened for somebody after so very long.
Definitely. Though I noticed you have a few others. I'm surprised you stick with one particular champion of yours. What did you call it again? All right, Dream Sonic. Why do you stick around with that one when you have infinite amounts of others you can use as your prime champion?
Why indeed? Well, my reasons are of course my own. After all, there's something about that boy. Especially
Just like how you see that little same thing for... What was her name again? Amilea?
Ah, yes. The little one I got to snatch from X himself.
Because I
Well,
know you view her with a special appetite.
well, she did come with a package deal. And then she did crave me afterwards. Besides, there's so much more potential she has that she hasn't yet to tap into.
Good. She's gonna need it. Though, it was fun watching you talk to the spirit of chaos. What were your thoughts on that little being?
He's basically my shadow at this point. Been an image of myself in its truity.
Again, good response.
That being said, we talked a lot about mine. I am very curious about the one known as Talia. She reminds me of one that I just captured as of late, especially due to the fact that that one has a very curious secret that not all I knows about.
You're interested in Talia, are you? Talia. I see you've been watching her now.
Well, she does have a special thing that keeps me interested. Although, again, it's mostly due to the fact that she reminds me of one of my own.
Yeah, she is an interesting specimen. Especially after I made her that way.
Quite a curious and very enticing method you choose for that one.
No, definitely so. I tend to have her as the one that keeps in charge of my flock whenever I'm away or not doing much of anything.
Her little brand of chaos. Very fun.
You can say she's chaotic. Though she tends to also beat around those that don't really deserve it, like little Miles.
I know that you rein her in when she needs to be, so all that really matters.
Oh, bringing her in is easy.
Of course.
It doesn't take much convincing for her to really get down and do whatever I want.
Then there's Tails, Knuckles, Sonic, as you mentioned before, Sally, and definitely Bunny.
Yes, definitely so. They were fun to see become the way they are now.
Whenever you decide to claim more, I'll make sure to watch and see what you do. I'm very curious.
Oh, I have many I claim that are outside of my flock, though.
Of course.
They tend to be for more personal matters. Ones that only I like to mess around with.
Fun matters. Whatever the matters are. All things.
That's for me to know and for you to find out if you wish.
I look forward to it. After all, what better way than to allow yourself to taste all the delicacies all these realities have to offer than just sitting around not doing nothing in the void.
Thankfully for me, I don't sit in a void that much when it comes to my physical form. I actually use a dimension I created to actually house most of my flock. Very fun to use, if it wasn't for the fact that Sonic and Knuckles like to use the planet like wrecking balls. Very annoying. But they're easy to fix. All it takes is a snap of the fingers.
I wish my son would actually get motivated enough to actually do something like that. But only in dimensions that really are on the end of needing eradication.
That's why I'm fine with it within the dimension I created. I don't allow it in those that require life and death.
Mm-hmm.
They need to thrive as they should.
As was meant to be.
Very much so. Very much so. But why do we enjoy this talk? I sadly must make sure that I keep an eye out on some things of the flock. And give one of my ladies some well-needed attention.
I'm going to enjoy myself, after all. Don't normally get to use those.
And whenever we meet at another interesting time, I might bring one of my pals along. You definitely might enjoy seeing another two-tailed being around.
Why not? I might bring one of mine on as well.
Goody. But now, I must be off.
As will I.
To see you, Exetior. I come to give a handshake and you give a fist bump. I like your sense of character.
I learned. But of course, how about we go with both then?
Exactly. And now, I bid adieu. Have fun, Executor.
I shall. Interesting. Now that all of them are starting to come out, we'll see which ones are actually fun to deal with, and which ones I should get rid of. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to have some fun.